Have you ever stopped to wonder how to become the best version of yourself in relationships? It's a question many may ask because deep down, we all yearn for affection, respect, and to be genuinely valued by those around us. But how do we achieve this? How do we earn genuine admiration not just for superficial qualities or accomplishments, but for who we truly are at our core? Imagine every relationship as an adventure, and you are the explorer of your own self. You want to uncover the hidden treasures within your soul and share them with others, but to do that, you need a mapa path leading to understanding, connection, and ultimately love. Today I will guide you in discovering your true value in a relationship based on 9 ancient Stoic philosophical lessons. So pay attention, for these are not mere empty pieces of advice you often hear. It's about empowering yourself in ways you may not have imagined. Get ready to shed light on the mysteries of cultivating a life filled with love and meaningful relationships, ones that are built on mutual respect and inner strength. Now, let's begin. Recognizing your actual value in Lesson 1. So, what is the connection between Stoicism and realizing your worth in relationships? Stoics held that we should concentrate on the things we can control and that you may choose your own worth. It's not about how many likes you receive on social media or whether someone expresses interest in you. Rather, it's about how you view and value yourself. Picture yourself as a gemstone. Not everyone understands the value of a rare gem, so some people may walk by it without understanding its significance, but that doesn't lessen the gem's value. It remains precious, rare, and unique. That's you. Let's be honest, we've all been rejected and felt inadequate, especially in a world where everyone seems to be thriving. Here's the real deal from a Stoic perspective. Your value is linked to your principles and how you behave yourself, not to the approval of others. The Stoics believed in introspection, so take a moment to think about your qualities, not just the obvious ones but the deeper ones, and you'll find strength. In relationships, it's about finding strength in your own value. Your true worth is found in your actions. Are you compassionate, honest, and living in a way that aligns with your values? Your value as a person, regardless of whether others agree. Always remember that realizing your value is a journey that takes time to develop. It's about waking up each day and telling yourself that you are valuable not because of what other people think of you, but because of the intrinsic traits that define who you are. Lesson 2. Before you begin to imagine a situation, show yourself with dignity. Lesson 2. Let me set the record straight as this stern, unsmiling figure from antiquity. So let's talk about what it means to present yourself with dignity in relationships. Have you ever noticed that sometimes we go to great lengths to impress someone only to lose sight of who we truly are? We change the way we dress and speak in hopes of gaining approval. But here's the important thing, and this is where our calm and wise perspective comes in. Stoicism isn't about suppressing your emotions or being indifferent. It's about understanding what deserves your energy and what doesn't. Respect is about how you portray yourself, what you do, and the choices you make. Picture yourself in a classroom watching 2 students present. It has nothing to do with your wardrobe or the trendy places you attend. Which student, in your opinion, leaves a lasting impression? One student is ostentatious, using large words and motions to impress the audience, while the other student is calm and speaks confidently without any pretension. It's frequently the person who is sincere and confident in their own skin. Doesn't it emphasize how important it is to portray oneself with dignity? The need of living truthfully and respecting oneself was stressed by the Stoics, who were renowned for their concept of virtue and self-control. How does this relate to dating today? It's simple. Be true to yourself. If you love reading, embrace it. If you have a strong passion, let it show. It's not about pretending to be someone else. It's about knowing that you are valuable just the way you are. Here's another crucial point. Treating yourself with respect sets the standard for how others will treat you. If you're constantly criticizing yourself, you're essentially saying that it's okay for others to do the same. On the other hand, when you value your time, energy, and emotions, you're making a bold statement.
Consider what Epicus, a smart person, would say. I deserve respect and expect to be treated as such. According to a Stoic philosopher, relationships are not about what happens to you, but rather how you respond to it. It's not just about how you look or what you say, it's also about how you respond and behave in different situations. Are you acting desperately or with dignity? Are you sacrificing your values to fit in, or are you remaining true to yourself even if it means standing alone? Perfection is not necessary. Everybody has imperfections and awkward moments. What counts is how you handle those situations. Do you crumble under strain, or do you remain resilient? Learn and keep moving forward. Let's pause to consider how we may start treating ourselves with more respect. It might entail establishing unambiguous limits or rejecting things that don't align with our ideals. It could also entail treating ourselves with greater empathy and decency. When you think of yourself as deserving of respect, people will start to feel the same. Lesson 3. The Art of Nonverbal Communication. Lesson 3. Interaction. I know this may sound a little archaic or rigid at first, but bear with me for a moment. It's not about being hard to get along with. Rather, it's about understanding and appreciating who you are. What does Stoicism have to say about this? In a society where we want things instantly and scroll endlessly, Stoicism teaches us how to maintain our composure and strength without being rigid or dull. It's about realizing what matters and not giving it away too readily. When we're in relationships or getting to know someone, there's often a rush to share everything, including our time, space, and deepest feelings. However, Stoics would advise taking a step back because, well, when something is always available, it loses its specialness. That's just the way people are. If you're always there for someone when they need you, you're always saying yes to everything. So, where's the excitement and mystery? The suspense. Let's discuss how to set boundaries the Stoic way. First, it begins with your appearance. Wearing modest yet stylish clothing conveys a message that says, I respect myself. You're not hiding anything, but you're also not giving away everything up front. It's about finding balance and saying that there's more to me than what you see. Another important component is time and focus management in a hyper-connected world. Making a meaningful decision about who gets your time. It's not about playing games, rather it's about reaffirming that my time is valuable and that I carefully value it. When you're with someone, be really there and involved, but when you're alone, it's acceptable to be unavailable. Putting all of your effort into your personal growth and interests. Additionally, Stoicism stresses emotional self-control. It doesn't advocate being cold or disconnected. Rather, it promotes keeping a balanced viewpoint, which means avoiding letting small things get to you deeply. It's about keeping your composure and not giving your emotional energy to everyone freely. It should be earned, much like how you choose how to spend your time and attention. I'm not saying that you should become emotionless or aloof like a Stoic statue. We are all human, and real connections are necessary for a happy life. But there's something unique about taking things slowly. Pace is about developing relationships that go beyond instant access and temporary solutions. It's about building deep, lasting relationships that aren't just about getting what you want right now. Here's to being a little more selective, composed, and stoic in our relationship approach. It's about finding a balance between openness and discernment, between sharing and reserving a bit, and trust me when I say that it greatly influences how others see and treat you. As such, it's important to remember that setting limits isn't about manipulating situations or playing tricks. Rather, it's about respecting yourself and staying true to your principles. Cheers to appreciating EMB and ourselves. Ignoring Stoicism in the dating world of today. Lesson 4. Be prepared to leave in Stoicism because there is a compelling concept. Lesson 4 is about letting go, not in a cold or heartless way, but in realizing what we can and cannot change. One of the most powerful things we can do is to decide whether to stay or leave a situation that doesn't fit with our well-being. This becomes especially important in relationships. We've all been in situations where we know we deserve better, but we choose to stay. It could be out of fear of loneliness, fear of change, or just waiting for things to get better, but this is where Stoicism comes in. Real strength comes from understanding that we have the ability to stay or leave situations that violate our values, and that we can choose a different course. This doesn't mean that you should give up when things get difficult. Relationships take time and
Effort, but it's important to have such a deep understanding of your values and self-worth that you're ready to move on when something fundamentally goes against them. It's about having the inner fortitude and stoic courage to affirm I value myself too much to accept anything less than what I deserve. Let's examine this concept in more detail. Respecting oneself is the key to being ready to leave a circumstance. It entails understanding your own worth and upholding your convictions. Even while it can be frightening, it doesn't always have to be a big, dramatic exit. Sometimes it's a quiet decision and a calm recognition that this isn't the best fit for you. I know it might be frightening to feel like the future is unpredictable, but consider our Stoic pals, who taught us the value of accepting life's uncertainties and overcoming obstacles with courage. It's about realizing that sometimes letting go of something that doesn't fit with your path is the boldest thing to do. When you recognize that you are in a relationship because it matches your beliefs and not because you are frightened to leave, this viewpoint can completely change everything. It's a game changer. It changes the entire dynamic. You're staying because it's your true choice, not out of fear or desperation. The important thing is that when you courageously leave behind things that don't benefit you, you make room for things that do. It's like clearing out the past to welcome the future. It's about believing that better things are ahead of you and giving yourself the chance to find them. Remember that having enough self-worth and concern to declare, I deserve something better, is what it means to be ready to move on, not being distant or heartless. It involves maintaining composure in the face of adversity and realizing that our worth is independent of other people and things. Setting boundaries in Lesson 5. Lesson 5. Quietly. Stoicism places more value on deeds than just words. It's easy to state your boundaries, but it's much more powerful to demonstrate them by your actions. This is especially true when talking about setting boundaries in relationships. The Stoics promoted exhibiting rather than merely stating views. I will not tolerate abuse, but the true test will be whether you maintain your boundaries or give in when such behavior occurs. True power is found in deeds rather than words. I know that this isn't always easy, particularly when emotions are involved, but let's remember the Stoics' wisdom. We have the ability to decide how we will react in certain circumstances. Since honesty is one of your core values, and someone tells a lie, how you respond in that situation demonstrates how serious you are about your boundaries. Whether you decide to step back or calmly address the issue, your actions show your commitment to your values. If someone crosses a boundary, it's your response that establishes and enforces that boundary, not just your words. It's not about causing trouble. Rather, it's about demonstrating self-respect by acting in a way that is consistent with your beliefs. This strategy can have a significant impact on relationships because when people see that you have firm boundaries and are prepared to enforce them, they better understand what you will and won't accept. Let's examine a basic idea using a straightforward method. Ordinary moments are just as important as noteworthy occurrences. This is where Stoic mindfulness comes into play. It's about being aware of the present moment and making sure your actions are within your bounds. How do you respond when plans change suddenly, or when someone doesn't value you enough? Do you brush it off, or do you calmly express through words and actions that such behavior is unacceptable? Are you being true to yourself? It's critical to pay attention to the small things because as we go about our days and engage with other people, those are frequently the times when our boundaries are really put to the test. Let's strive to exhibit a modicum of stoicism while defining our boundaries. It's not about being obstinate or uncompromising, but rather about having that inner guidance that directs our actions and reactions. Trust me when you use this strategy. People notice and start to see you as someone who values themselves enough to maintain limits in addition to setting them. Lesson 6. Actions speak louder. Lesson 6. More than words. As we've been learning, Stoicism is about applying practical wisdom, which means evaluating people by their deeds rather than their words. In our society, many people say kind things but don't follow through. This is particularly true in relationships. Stoics counsel us to see past the pretense and concentrate on deeds rather than words. Since actions reveal what is true, Stoics encourage us to pay attention to them. For example, it is easy for someone to say everything flawlessly and make promises about a flawless future, but are they really following through?